my first visit to Liberia, although I've been in this job for just over a year now. I'm very happy to be here, especially at such an important time for the people of Liberia as you approach your national elections. I've had an energizing series of meetings so far with important stakeholders in this election over the past 2 days. And I'm here representing the Department of State and the U.S. government's desire for Liberia to have free, fair, and peaceful elections. We're committed to supporting Liberia's democratic process. I'm coming to you after attending the United Nations General Assembly last week in New York. And I would like to acknowledge President Weah for his remarks when he stood on a global stage and pledged his government's commitment to ensure, quote, a free, fair, transparent, peaceful, inclusive, and credible elections, end quote. He went on to say that, quote, as a strong believer in democracy, let me reiterate my call for the respect of constitutional governance and respect for the will of the people, end quote. The U.S. government fully supports this commitment, and we continue to urge political leaders and parties in Liberia to keep their pledge to a nonviolent electoral process through their commitment to the 2023 Farmington River Declaration. In my meetings with government officials, civil society leaders, political parties, and the National Elections Commission, I have appreciated the candor and focus on making the upcoming elections successful. I was pleased to learn more from our partners here about planning for the election. We had productive conversations on everything from security to the management and announcement of results. The frankness and openness of these discussions is a strong reflection of the special relationship and bonds between our two countries. And I was encouraged to see so many Liberians working diligently to ensure the free and fair conduct of these elections. And we witnessed the packaging of voter materials in a warehouse, the staffing of the data center at the NEC, and the training of up to 30,000 temporary workers who are going out to the polling places to manage the elections. We were very impressed by the preparations that we've seen so far. To further support those efforts to advance democracy in Liberia and around the world, many of you know that yesterday, my secretary, the U.S. Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, announced a new visa restriction policy under Section 212A, subsection 3C of the United States Immigration and Nationality Act, also known as the INA. Under this policy, the United States will pursue visa restrictions for those believed to be responsible for or complicit in undermining democracy in Liberia. Now, undermining democracy in Liberia, what do I mean by that? This can happen in a variety of ways. It can happen through the manipulation or rigging of the electoral process. It can happen through the use of violence or threats to prevent people from exercising their rights to freedoms of association and peaceful assembly. They can include the use of measures designed to prevent political parties, voters, civil society, or the media from disseminating their views or engaging in any other activity designed to improperly influence the outcome of an election. Certain family members of such persons may also be subject to these restrictions. The visa restriction policy, which I will refer to as the 3C policy in short, will apply to specific individuals, and it is not directed at the Liberian people or the government of Liberia. The decision to impose visa restrictions reflects the commitment of the United States to support Liberians' aspirations to have free, fair, and peaceful elections